Mr. President, Louis Reed, and guests, it is my honor to administer the oath of office to the most esteemed body of lawmakers in Missouri. Would all of you, at this time, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Please repeat after me. I state your name. Of the city of St. Louis. In the state of Missouri. Having been elected. By the qualified voters of the city of St. Louis. To the position of Alderman of the state, the ward. Of the city of St. Louis. Do solemnly swear. That I have all of the qualifications. Named in the charter. For the office or employment. I'm about to assume. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And of this state. And the charter. And the ordinances of the city. And that I will not expend nor authorize. The expenditures of money. Otherwise than for adequate consideration. And efficient service. To the city. And will faithfully discharge. The duties of my office. Or employment. So help me God. Congratulations, Aldermen of the city of St. Louis.
I'll ask that everybody make it back to their desks so that we can continue the meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Bosley. Alderman Gunther. Alderwoman Martin. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Muhammad. Alderwoman Boyd. President Reed.
Here. Introduction of honored guests. Ready to go? Alderwoman of the 27th.
President Reed, I would like to first thank my family and recognize them as my guests, all my children and their spouses, yeah. And then I want to recognize Committee Woman and Committee Man Keys from the 21st Ward as my guest. And then last but not least, the most important part, I want to recognize all the residents of the 27th Ward that came out to support me.
Yeah.
I do not want to forget my state representative, Joshua Peters.
Alderwoman of the 11th.
Mr. President and members of the board, I would like to thank many special guests for being here and introduce them. First, my husband, Senator Jake Hummel. My stepson, Tim Hummel. Aunt Sandy. My parents, Nancy Martin and Alan Lewis. I have many members here from National Council of Jewish Women. If they would please stand. Committee woman from the 11th, Kathy Gamache. My friends Julie Murphy-Finn, Kristen Lappin, Lorna Curdy, Sean Faust, and Connor Ryan, Earl Scissors, and Patrick Lynn. I also have one of my oldest and dear friends, Mayor Sly James, Chief of Staff, Joni Wickham. And last but not least, I have the Villa family here. Former Alderman Tom Villa, his wife Karen, and former Alderman Matt Villa. Thank you.
Great job. Alderman from the 3rd.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. How's everybody doing?
Great.
It's good. I would like to recognize my father, the Honorable Freeman Bosley Sr. Thank you very much. My mother, who is the committee woman of the 3rd Ward, and my mom. Thank you. I got a bunch of family here who are also part of the team that helped us get elected, so I'd like to say thank you to my brother, Freeman Bosley Jr., the mayor, my little sister, Lakeisha Bosley, Mr. Tim Person, Linda Prom, it's like another mom. Now we also got Reggie Jones, who was a mentor for me growing up and is the mayor of Dalewood. Another one of my sisters, Consuela Bosley. Another important part of the team, we got Miss Kimberly Macharia. And I love everybody. We also got our residents from the 3rd Ward up there. Thank you all so much. How you doing? All right, well, thank you.
Excellent.
All right. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but if I did, it's nothing but love. Thank you all.
Alderman from the 21st.
Mr. President, members of the board, today as my special guest, I'd like to recognize my parents, Dr. Latanya Collins Smith and Kip Smith. Also the great team from the 21st Ward, the committee man and committee woman, James and Laura Keys. Reverend Gray and Miss Sonia Gray. Darius Chapman. Dr. Rebecca Johnson. My partner in crime, Tori Russell. I got a long list, just bear with me.
Yeah, take your time.
My former Senator, Robin Wright Jones. Her son, Damon Jones. Former Alderman, Steve Roberts Sr. And he comes from the 21st Ward. He is now our newly elected sheriff, Mr. Vernon Betts. Committee man from the 5th Ward, Mr. Rasheen Aldridge. Mr. Cedric C. Sharp Redmond, St. Louis Youth Ambassador. And I also must acknowledge he represents the 21st Ward in the Missouri Legislature, Joshua Peters. Former state representative of the 58th District, Mr. Rodney Hubbard. I'm almost done. Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. Mr. Percy Green from Fire. And our wonderful collector of revenue, Mr. Greg Daly. And I promise this is the last one, I think. But I have to acknowledge him. I know Alderwoman Davis is going to do so, but I have to anyway. Our former license collector, the former alderman of the 19th Ward, now the president and CEO of Urban League, Mr. Michael McMillan. Just one more, Mr. President. Just one more. I don't want to get beat up after this.
No, take your time. This is important. This is important.
Bishop Derek Robinson. I think that's it.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. And before moving on, I will say to the newly elected aldermen, you get to do this exactly once, where you have an opportunity to truly thank those people who made a difference in your life up until this point, and those folks who have made a difference and worked to get you into the seat. And having gone through it, it is so important that you take your time and make sure that everyone is acknowledged. And if you have forgotten someone by mistake, when we finish this, make sure you get back up to acknowledge them prior to us moving forward. Trust me, it's worth the time, and this is the chance you get to thank each and every one of them. Alderman from the 16th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I have a handful of honored guests that I would like to welcome today. I'm going to start with my parents who made the trek all the way from Franklin County in the great city of Washington, Missouri. My dad, Richard Oldenburg, 35 years in planning and economic development practitioner and a real model in my life. Thank you, Dad. I would also like to thank my mother, Catherine Oldenburg, grade school teacher for also 35 plus years. Mom, thank you so much. I'd also like to welcome my lovely wife, Laura, and the mother of our 3 children, Laura Oldenburg. Let's see. Back here I have my dear good friend that I grew up with and campaign staffer, Chris Rately. Also campaign staff and dear good friend is David Kilper. Also an excellent staff, campaign manager, and dear friend Joe Wilson is in the house here. While running my campaign, and I think a few others, Joe also ran a marathon and trained for it in the middle of that, so 26.2 more reasons to like Joe. One more time. My political mother and committee woman of the 16th Ward, Louise Tonkovich. My friend and president of the Southampton Neighborhood Association, Adam Wright, ladies and gentlemen. A very good friend and swell guy, as well as 16th Ward constituent David Behringer. Current state representative, former alderwoman, 16th Ward resident, and an all-around good gal, Donna Behringer. That's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President and Board. I would like to introduce today as my honored guest, first of all, my mom and dad, Bob and Dixie Gunther, who are here with us. And then along the back wall here, I have my partner for almost 15 years, Megan Bennett, as well as her parents, Bill and Marcia Bennett. Right next to them, I have a close friend and my legal consultant, Mr. Kevin Wilkins. And continuing down the row there, the literal boots on the ground from the local 73 firefighters, Mr. Demetrius Alfred. And then up in the balcony up here up top, on my far right, everyone else, we have my sister and my brother-in-law, Jennifer and Jesse Mosley. And then right here in the middle, I have the rest of the 9th Ward. So we've got Bob and Christy Unruh. We've got Mark and April Register. We have Shay Brown, who hopefully Mr. Eric Prospect will be with us. And then right in front row there, we have Mr. Mike Killeen of the Mike and Annie Killeen crew. And then over on my far left, there's Eric Shelquist, and we also have a Mitch Eagles over there. So thank you for everyone from the 9th Ward. So.